Hey everybody. So I guess this is one video that's been long overdue. And it is something that I want to talk about. And it is the way that me and my husband, the way that me and my husband actually met. So I am from the United States. I live in Florida and he is from Morocco, which is in Northern Africa. If you don't know where that is, Google it. So anyways, long story short, he sent me a message on Facebook, thanks to Facebook. And that was, it'll be 3 years ago. Yeah, I'll just say 3 years ago. So, so I responded to his message, and from there, that's been 3 years. I will say it hasn't been easy. It's hard. I've heard all kinds of, I don't know what that pop was. I have heard all kinds of things like, why don't you date somebody in the States? Why would I do that? In an experience, I've traveled to Morocco 2 times. The first time I went was after everything started opening up and resuming, and I was able to travel. And I left Miami, Florida on February 23rd and didn't get into Morocco until March 10th. And there's a story behind it. There's a reason behind that. Reason being is, once I left Miami, Florida, I changed plane. Now, mind you, I was traveling still in the middle of the pandemic when things started to open and travel was resuming. So, the airline that I flew on, when I booked my ticket, kept changing my flight. Oh my God. Kept canceling the segment that went into Morocco. There it goes again. So here I am with my flights getting canceled. Not completely canceled, but just the part that flew into Morocco. And it was because all of Europe was closed. All air travel was restricted from flying into Morocco. I was like, do I cancel my flight or do I just go ahead and try to go and work around it? So the night before I was supposed to leave, I get a message again. I lost track of how many times it got changed or canceled or whatever. I get a cancellation and I frantically call. I tell the agent, hey, I'm supposed to leave tomorrow. Quick, it took almost 2 hours. He found a flight. I remember it was a he, because he was really nice, and I thanked him. Like, I was in tears, like, frantically talking to the dude in tears. And he said, no worries, I'll find out. Okay. So my route went from Florida, Miami, Florida. First change was in Frankfurt, Germany. It was pretty exciting. I've never been in Germany. So it was kind of cool. And, I'm checking in on Facebook. Hey, I'm in Frankfurt, Germany, in the airport. And then to Las Palmas, Gran Canaria, the Canary Islands. Okay, cool. I left February 23rd. I was supposed to land in Morocco February 24th at like 8:20 in the evening, 8:45, something like that. I get to the Canary Islands and I go, check in. Everything's cool. Mind you, I had gotten my negative COVID test before I boarded in Miami. Went through Frankfurt, Germany, no problem. I go to the Canary Islands and I'm so excited because I am finally going to see my boyfriend. At that time, we had been together 1 year and 11 months. I go through the checkpoint through the Canary Islands and I go up to the counter to get my ticket. I still had about like 3.5 hours before I had to board or before the plane left. And the agent tells me, nope, you cannot go. I'm like, what? She says, yeah, you cannot go. Well, let me check. And I remember this has been like over 1 year, but I remember, and panic sets in. Sure enough, because the Canary Islands is it's part of Spain. It's a territory. Remember, all of Europe was closed off. Air travel was restricted from flying into Morocco. They forgot to include any European territories. What do I do? Well, I panic, and I'm begging and pleading with the people. Look, I flew all the way from the United States, from Florida. I can't return back like, why can't you let me go to the gate? They kept telling me, no, 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 because they're not going to let you board. And I even begged, why don't you let me go to the gate? If they refuse me, no problem. I'll take the L. Nope, they wouldn't even print me a boarding pass. So I'm at this counter. What do? Thank God I do speak Spanish. Not fluently, but I know enough. I would have panicked more if I was in some place where I had to speak French, or Germany, Switzerland, any place like that. But I was like, okay, that's all right. So panic set in, fear set in. I'm like, my knees are buckling, my stomach, I'm getting nauseous. I'm like, oh my God. My boyfriend at the time was in Casablanca airport in Morocco waiting for me to arrive. What do? I thought it was the worst day ever. It pretty much was at that point. I was like, how am I going to get to Morocco? They close up the counter and they leave. I'm sitting there in the airport in the Canary Islands, crying my eyes out. Like, I'm just like panicking, like, oh my God, I'm so like, I was devastated. So I brought myself, I had to contact him and let him know I'm not coming. And he started freaking out, which made me freak out even more. So we hung up, and I said, well, I'm sure it's going to get dark here soon. I don't know what time the sun sets in the Canary Islands. But I knew I had to find some place to stay for 2 weeks. Now, that was money that I didn't set aside for. So that was another thing. I had planned on, like, I used my vacation money to fit my bill for the Canary Islands. So it kind of sucked. But no problem. I found some place to stay, beautiful hostel. And you know, I made the most of it. Granted, it was not ideal. It wasn't the way things had planned. But I was like, you know what? Suck it up, buttercup. You're grown. Put your big girl panties on and just go with it. And so I went with it. I guess I'll take it as a blessing in disguise. Thank God. For one, for putting me in a situation and for me to figure it out by myself. Because I flew alone. The first time I'm going to Morocco, I flew alone. So thank God that, you know, I was blessed to be in the position where, I spoke the language. Not fluently, but I did. And I guess you could say I like took 2 vacations. That was like a mini vacation before my vacation. Because of that, like, I had never really traveled outside of the United States. So I just took it as a blessing in disguise that, okay, God wanted me to have a vacation before another vacation. So I kind of had 2 vacations. So it was pretty cool. Yeah, that's how we met. He sent me a message on Facebook. Okay, so he sent me, I will never forget this because I have the screenshot of the message. He sent me, all he said was hola with a little hand wave. Me, I say hello with a hand wave. So that is a joke that he has on me, is that every time he says I sent you hola, you say hello. And that's how we met.